Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 3. So we're about a month or so after the conclusion of Superman and Lois Season 2, of course following its finale, which of course changed the direction of the show. Might sound like you're being a bit over the top, but it changed the direction of the show forever. And of course that is many intrigued as to where it is heading. Of course that change in direction being due to, some would say, the big reveal that Superman and Lois does not take place on Earth Prime and instead takes place on another unnamed or unnumbered Earth, whichever way you want to put it. Maybe in season 3 we'll find out it's Earth 5 or 6 or something like that. Who knows? But over the weekend that just went past, we had San Diego Comic-Con, but as was expected on the DC side of things, both movie and TV, nothing really came from it because they are planning on doing DC Fandom, though there is some stuff coming out before that, before DC Fandom will probably happen, so it's a bit surprising some of that stuff wasn't showcased on the TV side, but Superman and Lois Season 3 isn't hitting our screens until early next year, and they haven't even started filming it yet, so that's about a month or so away, just over a month away. So the only presents for Superman and Lois, as well as The Flash, were some banners and various advertising around the Comic-Con premise, but nothing new or anything like that. But anyway, in regards to Season 3, one of the cliffhangers, for, I guess, Season 3 at the end of Season 2 leading into Season 3, that was a mouthful, was the reveal of one of the threats for next season, that being Intergang as well as Bruno Mannheim, through the intel provided by this new Earth's John Diggle, who also works for Argus. Now, whether Diggle was going to play into that storyline playing into Season 3 was another question in itself, because it wasn't officially confirmed by anyone up until recently as to what was going on with him, which does open the door to more questions about what's going to go down in Season 3 of Superman and Lois. But David Ramsey, who of course plays Diggle, was at a convention a couple of weekends ago, which we did highlight in a previous video, though he didn't focus on things he said in regards to Superman and Lois Season 3's main story and how Diggle plays into it in any sort of major way. It was more about the larger DC Universe side of things that took the focus. So this is the video in which we actually focus on the story side of things for next season of Superman and Lois and how Diggle will play into it. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on all this, as well as any, predictions, opinions, theories, all of that. I'm always curious to read what you guys are thinking, especially if you have something different than what I'm thinking. So yeah, let me know all that in the comment section down below. And if you're going to enjoy the video and want to show your support and you're looking forward to any of the stuff that we talk about, why not drop a like on the video to do all that? So yeah, while being talked to at, I think it was the London Film and Comic Con, I think that's the best way to say it, David Ramsey, who, as I said before, of course, plays various versions of Diggle on screen within the DCTV universe now, said that he would be, in fact, appearing in Season 3 as Diggle, though he did not say to what extent, so how many episodes, but he did say he would, that we would see him, while also confirming that he would be directing an episode in Season 3 as well. Now, the directing side of things was already confirmed by Todd Helbing, the showrunner for Superman and Lois, in an interview following the Season 2 finale. But Todd, at that same time, was also asked about Diggle showing up in Season 3 on screen, and he didn't deny it, he just didn't want to confirm it. He just said, hey, we can confirm him as a director in Season 3, but in regards to him showing up, we'll wait and see. Though the ending of the season and the setup for Season 3 did make it seem like Diggle would have to feature in some way, as he was the source of the information that our main characters are getting fed to them. But the fact that David said that he would be back as Diggle at this point suggests that his appearance or appearances would be or could be in the early parts of the season rather than any time later in the season, as he would probably have to be booked in for them already, so there isn't any possible obstacles that get in the way, like other directing gigs or whatever it might be. But let's focus in on how Diggle could play into Season 3 of Superman and Lois in a couple of different areas. So the first thing to talk about is, well, the thing that was pretty much set up right at the end of the Season 2 finale with Diggle, and that is the Intergang and Bruno Mannheim story that connects to not the John Henry Irons that we know and love from the past 2 seasons, but the John Henry from this Earth, which we know, thanks to Season 1, is dead. However, the twist with all of this is that Diggle believes that Intergang and Bruno Mannheim could be responsible for the death of this Earth's John Henry Irons. So it's a bit of a mini murder mystery, figuring out why John Henry Irons was killed. Now, you would have to think this is where Diggle plays into season 3, whether he is in 1 episode, 2 episodes, or maybe even half the season. Now, they could use Diggle in a way similar to how they use, well, not Diggle on Arrow, but Lila. And that's as like a back and forth on certain information, and whether whatever someone like John Henry or maybe even Lois or Clark has found matches up with what Argus might have on Intergang or Bruno Mannheim or both of them. So this could lead to Diggle maybe being in 2 of the earlier episodes of the season and then having a guest role in a couple of episodes later down the track as the story starts to heat up. With this, I guess depending on how long this storyline goes in the season, does it go all season long from episode 1 to episode 15? Or does it go up until like around the halfway point of the season and then another villain takes over? Though I think most of us would like to see Diggle as much as possible, I think it's important to not have Diggle have like more screen time than a character like John Henry in the storyline, as he is a main part of the show, and I'd assume a main part of the storyline as well, especially if it, connects in any sort of major way. So Diggle having that smaller but still very important role in the story would be a cool way to go. And you never know, there could be a twist or two in there as well. And we all love a twist. We cannot deny that. But this obviously does bring up a question, because I did say about whether the story goes the entire season. Are Intergang and Bruno Mannheim the big bad, or are they a path to a bigger threat? That could be part of the storyline there. Maybe like that's why Diggle sort of came across this Bruno Mannheim thing, because he was investigating something else, and there was sort of like a crossroads with Intergang and Bruno Mannheim. The fact that they name drop them, and we're going into season 3 expecting them, it makes you think that there's something else, something bigger at play there, that maybe we start to get the building blocks, maybe not straight away in season 3, but maybe like a quarter or a third of the way through, you start to realize, oh, something else is happening here, which maybe Diggle is connected to in some other way, which is why he maybe was investigating and sort of got the crossroads with Bruno Mannheim and Intergang. We'll have to wait and see. That's just like a possible theory that could be going on in season 3, but it wouldn't surprise me too much if something like that happens. Another thing, is Diggle going to be, like, how would you put it, like the pathway or like plot tool, I guess, to bring in other doppelgangers? Because Diggle is a doppelganger. David Ramsey played him in all the Arrowverse shows and on Earth Prime and stuff like that. Now he looks the exact same on Superman and Lois' Earth and plays a very similar character. So is he going to be a pathway to other doppelgangers, which has sort of been teased by showrunner Todd Helbing in like various interviews? And I would say maybe like a couple. I wouldn't expect like, oh, here's an episode where there's 10 familiar faces, or in the season there's 20. Definitely don't expect that. But we could get like a familiar face or two working in like various parts of this new Earth in the DC Multiverse. Like someone that I could see easily showing up, maybe working for Argus, would be someone like Curtis from Arrow. Remember him? He was Mr. Terrific. I could see this Earth's Curtis or something randomly working there. Wouldn't surprise me too much if they did something along those lines, or even someone that's randomly been in an episode of The Flash could be working at Argus as well, and they're just completely different, but they're a familiar face at the same time. Todd Helbing has teased that. It might not happen. It could happen. That's a wait and find out. It's definitely just something I wouldn't go into season 3 expecting, but, it could be something that happens, which would be pretty cool to see at the same time. And the final thing was sort of like Diggle connections in regards to like, people being excited for something they might do, is that Diggle could just reference past events with hero he has known and worked with on this Earth. Because I don't think we're going to get too many flashbacks in regards to like stuff not to do with Superman. So unless Superman worked with these heroes, which has sort of been insinuated that he hasn't, like I don't think we're going to get any sort of signs of other heroes in this timeline, but Diggle could reference them, because in season 1 he referenced them. Todd Helbing said, yeah, that's canon. He was just talking about this Earth's heroes and stuff like that. So he could mention other heroes that he's worked with, which sort of play out a timeline and let you know who is on this Earth and who isn't and everything like that. So especially because he works with Argus as well, there could even be heroes that he knows of that he hasn't worked with, but Argus knows about them as well. So we could get that in season 3, especially when you're involving like Intergang and Bruno Mannheim. Like we don't know necessarily who they might have been involved with or taken on in various other cities as well. So that could be explained or laid out on the table at some point in season 3. But in regards to season 3, the first information for that you'd have to think would come at DC Fandom, which I'm assuming is going to happen at the beginning of October. Deadline has reported that it's in the works, so it'll probably get announced hopefully by the end of this month if they're going to do it. So I'd expect maybe like a first look or some sort of information at DC Fandom. because they are set to, as I said earlier in the video, it's set to start filming in September, like early September, like first half of it. So maybe you could even get some early footage, like a proper trailer, or it could just be like a poster reveal or something like that. But I think I have voiced that wasn't the biggest fan of last year's DC fandom. I felt like a 3-hour event just for people to watch a Batman trailer. Hopefully this year, if they do it, it's a bit better done with more to look at, because last year was pretty disappointing. Didn't really even have to watch it. They didn't really reveal much. So hopefully this year is better and you get actual stuff to be excited about, regardless of what you're a fan of in regards, like within the DC multiverse, whether it's one show, a bunch of shows, or everything. Hopefully most things have something to show. So hopefully it's better planned out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions about everything we went over. Always curious to what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.